Here's how I manage a $3 million per month sales team. For context, we pay out half the industry average in commissions, meaning half the cost for us, while also paying our reps twice as much as they would make in any similar role in the market, meaning we can afford talent that is 2 times as good. Meaning, by stacking the efficiencies on both sides, we are 4 times more efficient than our competitors, which means as soon as the sale is made, imagine if you just made 4 times as much money from your existing sales team. This is literally the situation that I've created for myself. But we also have half, if not a third, of the industry standard close rate. How is that possible? Why am I so excited about it? Really quick, I just want to share with you how this actually works and how you can adapt these principles into your business to save a whole bunch of money from your customer acquisition process. First, just some numbers to back this up. This is a screenshot of performance from my full-time reps last month. There are a few other members here that are excluded. They didn't work full-time, so they're excluded. But this roughly shows how much revenue I am pushing through every single rep on my sales team. It also shows you how well my team is getting paid. Like, if you are a sales rep not making this much money every single month, email me. Email my team asking for a job. If your sales reps make less than this as a business owner, write this next part down. So this is OTE equals quota times percentage. This is the entire formula that you need to understand to be able to attract better talent on your sales side. Now, OTE is what you want them to take home in income. Basically how good of talent you want to afford. And you can choose to afford any kind of talent you want. The quota is how much you want to sell in gross revenue. And then the percentage is the fee that you have to pay to make it happen, which, again, we can decrease the fee to make it happen while still increasing the quota. And I'll show you exactly how we do this. And I wanted to start with this very last one. So this percentage in our industry, which is the social media, online marketing space, is 10%. And currently we pay 5%, so literally half of the industry standard. And I remember one time a sales manager applied to work with us and he asked for a 30% commission. He said if we can't match it, he would go to this other company that pays 35%. I told him good luck at the other company, because if you are a sales rep or an employee, a high number here for commission as a percentage of the total deal is actually very bad. And so to understand this, I want you to understand what it looks like from the business owner's perspective. Because if you have a killer product, if you have a dialed in sales process, if you have enough skill in running the business to attract really good talent, like the smart business owners do, the smart business owner would decrease commissions, keep the lowest viable percentage so they can keep more as profit, of course. And that's why large businesses like phone carriers or auto dealerships or Fortune 500 SaaS companies, they only pay 1% or even less of the total deal price because they don't need to overpay, because the business is good, the sales process is extremely consistent, and there are plenty of people applying for sales reps. And the opposite is also true. Some of the worst companies in the world offer really high commissions that have none of those positive factors. The product is difficult to sell. The business has a bad reputation. There is no consistent sales process. There are very few takers that want to work in those kinds of roles. And so as a consequence, they have to pay out large commissions to attract talent. And so a direct comparison could be a SaaS company that is potentially pre-revenue or early startup. That company would have to pay 15% of contract revenue because they are less proven. They have to pay out more as a percentage for the same level of talent. And sometimes they don't need to just pay out the 15% as a front end price. They also have to give equity in the business because those reps are so hard to find. MLMs are another business model that pay out 20 to 50% commissions because usually the actual business is terrible. And what this means for a rep is that they will probably be selling an inferior product if they have a really high percentage commission, because they're going to be doing all their own outbound. They're going to have less skill than their competition, who, if they were better, would just go and get hired by a better company that potentially pays less in commission but pays more total at the end of the month. And so what I see when I hear a company that pays 30% commission is that they either have no clue what they're doing when it comes to sales, and they're willing to overpay someone to bring either all of the experience or all of the hard work required to close deals. And it's an instant red flag that either the business owner is a complete idiot or they are very smart and they know exactly what they are doing, neither of which is a very good thing for the sales reps. And so the sales manager that came and asked for the 30% commission actually ended up coming back a couple months later, begging for a role at my company, which at the time was paying 7%, because he figured out the same exact thing, is that percentage commission does not influence how much commission is made. It is a function of percentage commission paid times quota, which is the second variable here. Now, to understand quota, we can use the dealership example. Quota could be $200,000 per rep. Could be a very high amount that they're expected to drive every single month. But if you're selling vehicles at $50,000 a pop and you're flooded with customers, it's going to be really easy. 4 deals a month, you're set. Or it could be really hard to hit a quota. Like, I was selling gym memberships in high school. I would get really lucky if I got a deal a day. And I turned over in a single month less than a quarter as much quota as some of my friends selling cars, who got paid about the same, even though my quota was way lower because my percentage was way higher. And so it's the relationship between these two that is extremely important that gives you on-track earnings and how much you're actually going to be paying out to commissions. Now, it's really easy to Google this in whatever industry you're in and to understand what OTE should be. Good companies should also be disclosing what their OTE is in the hiring process. Some of the best companies even show off not just what it could be, but what it actually is last month. For example, these are our last month stats, and this is what we show to every new hire. It allows us to say we only pay 5% because we can demonstrate that our 5% multiplied by our realistic quota gets our sales reps $20,000 to $30,000 months. And this is what you should actually care about, whether you're a sales rep or a manager at a company, is how much your people are getting paid. This is the only number that lets you hire better talent. And when you can go into the hiring marketplace and show that almost all of your reps are making twice as much as all of your competitors, it becomes way easier to find top talent, which in turn makes it easier to scale your business with smarter people to get to $1 million months. And then as your business scales, your goal would be to increase OTE so that you have better visibility and more competitiveness in the hiring marketplace to get better reps by disproportionately increasing the quota relative to the decrease in commissions paid out. So pay your people more by making the product better and the entire sales process smoother so that you can decrease the total commission, the expense that you actually feel paying out to every single rep. Now, this right here is a separate battle altogether, and there's many ways to get here. But if you found this video helpful for your sales process, here's another one where I just completely go off about the most frustrating complaints I hear from founders and sales reps that don't get this, that aren't closing deals and dragging this quota down. And spoiler alert, it's actually extremely easy to prevent. You can probably fix it right after watching the video.